What's up, everyone? I'm Matt with Ozark Overland Adventures, and I got something a little different for you today that I've never tried before. This is a dash cam, and I've never run a dash cam before, but with all the gear that I carry in my vehicle, with all the off-roading and stuff that I do, I thought it was a good idea to get one to help protect the investment in my vehicle, since that's how I make my living. So my Gladiator is very important to me. And I thought this would just be a helpful tool to have in the Gladiator. This particular dash cam is from 70mai. It is the A810, and this is a 4K HDR front camera dash cam that also includes a rear camera that is also HDR, but it's a 1080p camera. And I have been blown away by the image quality of this thing. It almost rivals a GoPro. Like, I could take this footage if I was forgetting to record something on one of my trips. I could take this footage and insert it into one of my videos. It is that impressive. This actually has the Sony Starvis 2 IMX678 image sensor inside, and that compared with the 70mai My Color Vivid Plus image processor inside gives you incredible color, great exposures, really good image stabilization. Like, been really crazy impressed with the image stabilization on this thing, and incredible detail such that when you're looking back through your footage, you can zoom in on license plate, get that information if you needed to. So all the information's there. Been crazy impressed with this thing. Now, how this works, the install was super simple. I've already got it installed. I've been using this for the last week or so, just checking it out. But it's got a nice big screen on the back that you can see. It's got multiple menu buttons down here. The camera is pivotable, so you can adjust the camera angle to fit how you want it to. It's powered off of USB-C. It uses a micro SD card, and the runtime and storage that you get out of this totally depends on the SD card. I'm using a 64 gig SD card, and it's not even close to being full yet. So it does a really good job of giving you decent file sizes so you can store lots of footage. I mean, I've got days worth of footage on this thing already for both front and rear cameras. But let me walk you through the install of what was required to do this, and then we'll go through some of the image quality stuff. The installation of this was super simple. Okay. It's got this little adhesive backed piece here that the camera just slides right into. There you go, just like that. And then you've got two cords to run, one for power of the A810, and then one to connect to the backup camera. The USB power, it just goes right there, and what I did was just run this cable up along the top of the window, down the A-pillar here, tucked it in under the dash, down, and then what you get here is just a simple USB adapter that goes into your cigarette, your 12-volt socket here that I never used. And you've got your main connector here for your power. This, of course, comes on when you start your vehicle. And then you now have a bonus USB port, which will come in handy for me. And it's very, very clean. I just tucked it all around under the dash, and very, very clean. Simple installation. There is plenty of cord. I've got a lot of extra cord tucked up under the knee panel here, and so there's plenty of wire that goes with this. Now, for the rear camera, I basically did the same thing, but in the opposite direction. This is your rear camera connector, and I ran the cable up on the top, down the side. I've got the cable running along the door sill there, and I have a rear seat delete, so I just tucked it under there, ran it along the back here, and then tucked it inside the window. And so here's the rear camera. The rear camera is awesome because it not only serves as a rear-facing camera, but if you want to, you can rotate this around and you can have an interior-facing camera to record, you know, all your activities here on the inside. So you got to make a choice. Do you want rear or do you want interior? But you do have that choice to make. It's not just one or the other, which is super handy. Now, as soon as you turn this on, it immediately starts recording, so you don't miss any footage. And you've got these 4 buttons down here at the bottom where you can navigate different things. You can toggle between front and back camera there. If you're ever in an emergency situation and you want to make sure you have that footage, you can tap that button right there. It will immediately start recording, but that way you make sure you have that. Then here you can scroll through your footage. It does stop recording when you do that. You can scroll all your videos, your emergency footage, your surveillance, your time lapse, your photos. And then this button right here goes into your settings. So you've got all of your video settings here. All this is available in the app as well. Your record duration, you can set it for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Your storage, your resolution. Obviously this is at 4K. You can also do 1080p 60 frames per second if you want 60 frames per second. And then turn HDR on and off, set your refresh, all those sort of things. And then you've got your system settings here where you can turn on and off the Wi-Fi hotspot, because this does have an app where you can control and view and see all your stuff. Your screen off time, all the various system settings there. Now, with this kit, you get the front camera, you get the rear camera, you get all the cables to make this work. An optional cable that you get is their hardwire kit. The hardwire kit allows some extra features that I'm very interested in, such as their smart parking guardian mode. So when you have this connected and you've got that mode turned on, it will detect bumps against your vehicle when it's parked. It will detect motion moving in front of the cameras and automatically start recording, just to make sure, you know, no one's doing anything they shouldn't be doing around your vehicle. So super cool feature for that, for when it's parked. You also have a time-lapse mode, so that when your vehicle's parked, it will start recording a series of images and then put that together in a time lapse, so that you're not just recording a ton of stuff while you're parked, but it records a time lapse so that you can go back and check that footage of all the stuff that's been happening around your vehicle while it's been parked. So I think that is super cool. And, you know, if you've got a rig like mine and you've got, you know, some expensive stuff that's stored in the back, you know, you've got lights and stuff on the front, that's a really cool feature to have to protect all of your stuff. All right, now let's take a look at the video footage. I mean, as you can see, the footage from this is incredibly clear. There's tons of detail, and the image stabilization is awesome. Now, I don't have the sound turned on these clips, but I'll have that here in just a little bit. All right, following this car, I mean, I can very easily zoom in on this image and get a clear view of the license plate on the car in front of me. So the detail on this camera is very good, and it gives you the important information that you need. Now, taking a look at the rear camera, obviously, you know, with my bedrock on here, seriously limits my field of visibility. But the image is clean. I can, you know, see what's going on around me. This is not a 4K image. This is a 1080p image, and with my black rack and all the boxes and stuff in the back, it does mess with the exposure just a little bit. But I'm still impressed with what the HDR can do back here, giving me a really good exposure for what's going on outside of the rack. Normally, that would completely throw out the exposure and blow out all the image outside of the back of the Jeep. So, I mean, you can very clearly see that vehicle, the type of vehicle that it is. You can read the stop sign, and just overall very impressed with the quality of this image. If someone were to come to the back of my Jeep and, you know, mess with my fridge back there, try to remove my propane tank from the side, I would be able to see them very clearly. Now, looking at the interior shot, again, the HDR image quality in this camera with my dark, black seats and everything in the Gladiator, a normal camera would just be blown completely out on the outside of the vehicle. My GoPro even blows out the exterior of my Jeep. So super impressed of everything you can see on the outside of the Jeep. The interior looks really nice and clean. Lots of detail there. Audio's recording on the rear as well. I'm very impressed. Now, you can flip the camera view around. Obviously, I hadn't done that here because I keep it in rear mode most of the time, but you can flip this around so it's not upside down. Looking at the night footage on the A810 from the front camera, very impressive. It does pretty decent in low light. You can make out the detail of the cars. You can make out the details of the surrounding areas. There's just a really good image quality here from the A810 at night. Very impressed. And the street lights, nice exposure. None, things aren't getting blown out. Really impressed. I mean, you can zoom in here and get the license plate of the people around you, so you can clearly see that that's AIM 58Z. For a nighttime shot, that's pretty impressive. Looking at the nighttime footage of the rear-facing camera, again, super impressed by this thing. Plenty of detail. You can make out the types of cars. The headlights aren't just completely blowing out the image. I'm crazy impressed with the quality of the rear camera at night. Well, I think that pretty much covers it with the 70mai A810. It's a fantastic camera, and the price on this thing for the quality and everything, I mean, with the whole kit thing like this, the 180, 189, something like that, very affordable for the quality and all the features that you get from this thing. So links and everything like that are in the description. It's honestly, it's not an affiliate link, so if you click that link, I'm not making any money from it. But links and everything are in the description. Go check them out. If you're in the market for a dash cam, I highly recommend this one. It has impressed me, and I do video stuff like this for a living from my vehicle, and if an image quality from a dash cam can impress me, I think that's pretty good. So if you would give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're not, help us reach that goal of 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And if you like the content that we're putting out, you like what we're doing, and you want to consider supporting the channel, gain access to special events, special content, all of our GPS data, check the Patreon link in the video description below. And for Ozark Overland Adventures merchandise, shirts and hats, stickers, patches and stuff, go to shopoverlandapparel.com. Thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. See you next time. Bye.